Hi, it's Andy.
Hi, it's Dave.
Hi, it's Kirk.
Okay, so before we kick into today's video, just a couple of quick ground rules that we have on the channel. So there is no pausing or no talking during the video. That way you get to enjoy the video, we get to enjoy the video. Videos in general are Kirk and Andy have no idea what's coming up, so it's a complete surprise to them. But they may have seen either the band before, they may have heard the song before, because I never run it past them. So we'll obviously disclaim that at the end when we get to doing our feedback. Feedback will be both positive and negative. It will be completely honest, and it will always try to be constructive. So without further ado, let's click into the video. There we go. A little bit of Demon Hunter to wrap today up. So that was the song Artificial Light. So we did do Demon Hunter, and the song was Death. We did a few weeks back, which was that about 1.5 minutes of music last time. So I thought we'd try and expand on it to give you a little bit more of a context of Demon Hunter as a whole. So Kirk, do you want to kick us off with some feedback on this one?
Yeah, I saw at the end that they're on Solid State Records, which, as we know, is a Christian metal label, isn't it, based in the US, and they house bands such as Norma Jean, Fit for a King, and a really interesting progressive thrash band called Brutality. That one, a bit more conventional, wasn't it? I preferred the other song that we reacted to that had the really long intro, had some screaming vocals, and then just ended abruptly. This one, your typical mellow death, really, isn't it? Really good production. Chorus, weak for me, up until that line, does it shatter your world? Really impressive how they managed to salvage that chorus. I'm not really a fan of guitar harmonizing for melody in a chorus, especially when you've still got the tempo going. Some strange musical segments in that. Is it me? Do you know when that first syncopated riff comes in and the drummer changes to the double timing, the skanky? Yeah. Is that deliberately out of kilter? I really like how jagged it was.
They're playing on the offbeat, yeah. So they're counterbeating each other, which is an interesting attack.
It works, doesn't it? It's very subtle. And it's one of those with your guitar player, like, well, I can hear the beat. I can just chug away and close my eyes and it'll stay in time. And I like that approach. Lyrically, very clever song, because that could be talking about how we have too much faith in pharmaceutical companies to self-medicate our way out of our misery and depression. It could also be talking about the vacuous civilization we live in now that's turned away from religion and is looking to these weaker new age philosophies, you know, for spiritual guidance. So it could also be talking there about, again, charlatans, populists, secularists who claim to have the answer to all your problems. So I think it's they're deliberately ambiguous, but you can tell that they are a Christian band, in my opinion, with what the way that they're approaching the lyrics. It was good, muscular, mellow death. I've heard it 1,000,000 times before, though, so I'm not quite as impressed with that musically as I was with the other song that we reacted to.
Okay. Andy, what did you think?
Certainly wasn't muscular, Kirk, I don't think, to be honest. It wouldn't be a term I'd put to that. Interesting what you say about the lyrics. I noted down that if you look, it's quite obviously a lyric video, so you can see them on the screen, but they're not in your face Christian religious lyrics, are they? You said they're ambiguous and you need to sort of delve into them, and you can make 1 of 2, 3, 4 interpretations of what they're actually about, which is really interesting and quite creative, to be honest. Like you, I prefer the other track we listened for them. That one was certainly heavier and a bit more to it. I thought that was quite boring, to be honest. It opened up with that image of, I don't know, it was like a table with candles and lamps, and it almost formed a heart shape the way the camera zoomed in. And I wasn't thinking it's going to be a lyric video, but I did think, oh, this is the sort of image you see at a sort of a top package lyric video that you might produce as a band, and then lo and behold, it turned into a lyric video. I'll raise a question about that in at the end, but the lyrics that were there, I think, were repeated far too much. There wasn't enough of them to sort of hold my interest. It was, I wasn't interpreting which was the chorus and what was the verse, but it just seemed the same words were flashing up all the time, and obviously you can hear them as well. I might prefer the other track. Had that interesting intro, add the sort of short, sharp 1.5 minute song. That was not much for me. But I will raise my point about the lyric videos. I think they're a great idea if you're a band on a budget or a local band, or you've got a new song or album you want to promote. It's not something you'd go back as a listener and a fan again once you've perhaps heard that song live or got the album that it's on. I don't think you'll go, I'll go and check out the lyric video they've done for that song. It doesn't hold enough interest for me, lyric videos, but they are a good idea as a promotional tool when you initially having a release. So I want to be interested to see what you think about that.
So I would agree with you on that one. I'm pretty much anti lyric videos. I prefer, if I have to, I'd have a lyric video over just a shot of an album cover, just so I've got something as a reference, something that's moving on the screen. Because if you have 6 minutes of just you staring at an album cover, it's a bit boring. But I think bands know when they're going to drop a single. So I'd rather they did a live performance video or something else than a lyric video, because you're still going to spend money on it. You might as well just hire a venue for a few hours and just do some miming along to it and at least edit that together.
Absolutely,
I think it's better. I think lyric videos have become a scapegoat for people that just realize they don't want to invest time and they think music videos are a waste of money. They're just something that you have to do, because no one watches music videos anymore. No one's got the time. Everyone just listens to everything on Spotify. And I think that's a real shame, because it's a great way to tell a story, and doing a lyric video doesn't tell a story at all. The only reason I picked this one was because it was a song I wanted to cover, and it was they never did an official video for it. And it's interesting you said it wasn't the heavy, because they've got a real mix of stuff. So Death would probably be their heaviest track, I would say, for intensity. They are more along the lines of bands like Soilwork. That's more their kind of European, you said mellow death, that sort of eras. They never get really kind of full on death metal aggressive down that side. They're still very much groove orientated, balance between clean and gruff vocals, I suppose is the best way of putting it. It's probably about as heavy as I like to get for me. So this would be like my heaviest style of band that I would listen to. Anything more than that would never get. I might listen to an odd track, but it would never go on repeat listen. Whereas with Demon Hunter, I've got all the albums and they go on regular repeats. So it's the stuff that I can quite happily listen to, rock out, don't have to skip on the van. Because I think it's got that groove element. And it's also got, you said about the repetition, I do get that topic about, especially in lyric videos, having to see the same shots of Shattering My World, no. Okay, Shattering My World, no. Okay, yeah, we've seen that same screen. I don't want to see that. I want to see a different version of Shattering My World. I don't want to see the same picture.
It's a cheap option. You don't have to think about that too much, even if you're producing a lyric video. I mean, there's nothing wrong with repetitive lyrics and catchy choruses you hear over and time again. But that just didn't work for me. Maybe it was because, like you said, David, it's the same image of the lyric repeated rather than a variation. Different sort of format of putting that out there. But no, just not for me, that particular song, particular band.
No problem. Kirk, you look like you want to say something. Go on.
Yeah, another band it reminded me of. Do you know that American Christian metalcore band, August Burns Red?
Yeah.
It was a bit like them with, as you said, that Soilwork mellow death angle to it, wasn't it? So I think that is heavy in terms of the tempo and the adrenaline surge and the crunch of the guitars and certainly the drums. I just think it loses me because I've heard it so many times. It's one of those genres, isn't it? Melodic death metal that's been done to death, like metalcore, that it's almost impossible now for anything to surprise me within this arsenal of sound. I didn't dislike it. That would be enjoyable live. I'd be disappointed though if a Demon Hunter had 11 songs all like that, because I would just lose interest after 5.
Fair enough. And on that bombshell today, that was Demon Hunter and Artificial Light. If you like the video, please do subscribe, click the bell icon, like and share, and we'll see you on another video sometime very soon. Take care.